Hello, everybody out there. This is Nate Raymond in Japan, and I'm coming at you from the Japan Exchange. And we are the best place for anybody out there who's interested in Japan to connect. And this is only possible recently because of blockchain and AI. And so we want to show these empowering technologies. So, look, uh, think of me right now as somebody who's just in Japan. Now, Japan really wants to connect to foreign people. And today, I'm talking to the exact type of person that Japan would like to invite to Japan, but nobody in Japan knows how to speak English, like to communicate in the right way. There's a big cultural gap. So I'm just being an English speaker, but Japan has a problem. They're spending over $800 billion to learn English. But if you come to Japan, nobody can speak English. So what are they doing with this money? And one of the great things I'm speaking to about someone today is we're talking to someone from India. And I just want to say from an American, okay, that this brand association right now that we're associating with India people is that of the India CEO, tech entrepreneur, right? We hear these stories, these genius entrepreneurs from India, and it's like, oh my God, if one of these people from India could come to Japan and work with me with Japanese companies, and then they come with me to New York, and we create this pipeline where we got India people from the best universities like BITS Pilani. I mean, you hear about even these smart cities in India, but all those smart cities, they're only in India, okay? But now we're in a tech world where online, instantly, we're tapped. Location doesn't matter, okay? So it's more like the network. Anyway, so I don't want to talk too much. I want to hear from Ansh. Hello, Ansh. How are you?
Yeah, hello. I'm doing very great. How are you?
Good. My intro was a little long. What did you think about what I said?
Yeah, it's perfect.
Great. Amazing. And so I'm taking your point of view of just someone from India who would like to come to Japan. And I'm saying that if we don't have this podcast, if we don't have this conversation, the only way to come here is to pay money, okay, somehow. And I'm saying money is not the right tool of exchange. And that's proven by something like Bitcoin. Okay. Now, some people have Bitcoin, some people don't. But Bitcoin was once very small and now it's very expensive. Okay. So there's Bitcoin people who invested and now they're billionaires, right? So we don't want to miss this next trend. Okay. Now, the next trend, I think, is not Bitcoin, but see, okay, the thing about Bitcoin is they're exchanging smart contracts in the network. That's what they call it. So, what we want is our own coin, our own smart contract system, but by using it, it's giving you the real experience you need. And not to get too complicated. So, that's like your point of view, but also my point of view as an English teacher in Japan is that that's what's missing from Japanese education. Why they're spending so much. They don't really have a way. So I'm saying instead of us paying money for the thing we want, when we come together, we create a new economy. It's like a circular economy, they call this. So it's a different way to exchange. Now you're exchanging information. All right. And I just don't think there's a platform like this that exists. But uh okay, so right now it's like we're at a point where now we can forget about the past and just start a new thing. Okay, so one thing I just wanted to do is you, as a person from India, on a group call, like 20 other people from your location. And maybe it's not all your location, anybody who speaks English. Okay, we want a group of English speakers and just getting on a call with Japanese people. But when you get on a call with Japanese people, you're just an English conversation partner first. And Do you think that you could do that?
Yeah, I can do that,
Right?
and it's
It's
great.
something anybody could do for free, right? It's like, but if we did, I want to prepare you for what kind of conversation that would be like, right? So these are the three questions I'm going to ask you. What's your interest? What are you interested in?
So there are a lot of things like I am interested in tech. I am interested in like Japan and
Yeah.
their culture and places to visit there and a lot of things.
So I have a guy from India, a friend, and he worked in Japan for 5 years at Hitachi. He went back to India. He created a Japanese school. He's training Indian people, and from India, they're reaching out to Japanese companies like, will you hire this India person? But Japan doesn't want you really to come just straight from India to Japan and work. They want you to travel as a tourist first. And I think that's how I want people to come as a tourist, but also to get this practical training you need. So, if I say, what are you interested in Japan? Well, it's definitely anything you're interested, we connect. But there's two aspects that we're saying Japan has a brand association. One of them is these companies, so many companies, Honda, Toyota, Mitsubishi. And my India friend said, from an India standpoint, what they like about Japan is a standardization, right? That they create what is the standard. Whereas in India, people have many different ways of doing things. It's not really a standardized way, but Japan's are very, very so standardized way. And next is games, right? Japan has very good relationships with people because, of course, they know Japan is games. So I said, what if you came to Japan and based on those two things is you are, Japan is the land of companies. So when you're coming here, you are visiting companies, but the way we do it is like a gamified way. Now, my son, I have three kids. My wife's Japanese, so they grow up here, but he really likes this game called Minecraft. And Minecraft is like a simulation game. So before you actually travel to Japan, if from your location you could experience this online simulation, and through this online simulation, we are going to be connecting to companies like Remote View. So when you are one of the conversation people, you get on a call with Japanese people as the English conversation partner for, so you're not really trying to get what you want out of the people themselves. But then afterwards, you're going to look up these people and they all have their digital profile where you can see what city do they live in, what companies are their stakeholders, and they'll have videos that they're uploading to their YouTube channels that you can check. And it's like, if you go to this city to visit this person, these are the companies. And, I understand that. See, we want a menu choice like a restaurant. But when you first come to Japan, you don't know enough to make a choice. You kind of need to be guided. But the way we do this first online through speed meeting, and then based on those conversations, people after they meet you are asking you these three questions: your interests, your skills, your dream, because based on that, they're going to have suggestions on, where they want to connect you based on what you like. Yeah. Right? So the question I asked, what are you interested in? Then the next question was, what are your skills? So this question I do want to ask you, not just what are your skills, but tell me how you got those skills.
So like I have like skills in web development and AI ML, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and I have gained this over the years at my college and preparing for hackathons and preparing for like to end up in Japan.
Cool. Yeah. So, what is your dream? That's the last question.
My dream is to like set up my family in Japan.
Okay. So, here, I'm hearing these skills, right? Interested in Japan, have these skills in tech, dream to set up your family in Japan. Now, that's okay as a first dream, but then I also told you after we're coming to Japan, we want to go to New York to bring the information of Japan also to other places, along with any information, but you become that agent of transformation because it's you, but who you're connected to. That's more. And I feel that, um, okay, so the future, we've heard some solutions to climate change, like, for example, the carbon credit system. Now, the carbon credit system is punishing you. So, these technologies, China has a social credit score, okay? But punish you is a negative. Now, any negative we turn into a positive. So, the opposite extreme of punish you is reward you. So, it's the inversion of the system and our disruption by, when they push, we pull. It's a Tai Chi Aikido difference to strength karate. And when we collaborate with the yoga mind. And I say yoga to you because, again, I don't have to explain yoga to you. We're saying you understand yoga, but the way I explain it is the brand association, the perception is that yoga means union. And instead of passively accepting life, we actually create reality by uniting, and not passive, but active, right? Like, we're not powerless victims. The thing you want is the thing I want. And it doesn't cost, paying money is skipping the process of us setting it up ourselves. But when we set it up, then people will pay money to use it. so, so our communication through this podcast is actually the first step that if people are interested in what we're talking about, they just have to get in touch with us. And when they're getting in touch with us, they're going to want to join a platform. So I speak to you as a tech person because, yes, this is a digital platform. But also, since I'm not technical, right? So, and Facebook, it does this. So it's the Facebook model. Facebook is the richest company ever. Okay. But when you use Facebook, it's free, it's easy, anyone can use it. But you have the doom scrollers who just trapped in their attention, and somebody is making money off that, but they don't give us any of the money. So that's fine. That's fine because Facebook, we meet new people. But once we meet these new people, the next step is to invite them to our Facebook, where we just gather the people, but the conversations and activities we do build a whole new database of information that now we're the ones that are sharing it, but also we can collectivize the money to share with each other and distribute. So, because the important thing is when you come to Japan, you have a travel schedule from 8 in the morning to 12 at night, whatever you want. Now, anybody can sell you a trip to Japan, but I'm saying I can uniquely invite you, but we can get your travel paid for. Okay. Now, we are doing that because we actually gather stakeholder companies. And every stakeholder company is paying a lot of money for marketing. But we are a marketing agency based in the community that says we're volunteers. We're 16-year-olds, we're 17-year-olds, we're 18-year-olds. We just are young. We want to go to your company to learn about it. And because we want to be, and that is where the companies are building their reputation and their image with us as just being open to the community. But then the 16, 17, 18-year-olds, they represent, okay, business owners with money who don't have time, but people in the community with no money but have time. There's a relationship synergy. There's also a relationship synergy with English speakers and Japanese people who want to speak English but just can't meet a person to use it with. But all these people like us who we would love to speak with them. And we just create something better by being the ones who have this speed meeting event. And that becomes the work because AI can replace a lot of jobs, but it can't replace that. So the humanness of you is so useful to a collaboration with AI. And, we need to make this the model that people are really joining, or else society will not be either way, it's out of balance. Yeah. So, tech support is what it's called, not tech leader. Okay. So we need the non tech people and turn them into leaders. Like everyone's a leader. Like today, the information you provided is leadership. Communication is leadership because but if you don't tell us your interest, your skills, your dream, we can't propose anything. And we want to make proposals to you because that gives our mind something to do. And if we just pay the money or we do something, it's like it takes away the thought process. And so, our communication is the practical experience making you intelligent and not intelligent in an individual way, but we have a collective way of assessing intelligence and assessing efficiency and increasing efficiency. Because to measure Japanese English proficiency in a test and say, oh, you got a score of 89 or you got a score of 93, it's different than saying that between Japan and the world, there is this much percentage and you've successfully got this much. We could implement that. I speak
Yeah,
too much, but
that's very nice, I
yeah.
think.
So, just letting you know that if I was to do a deeper search with you, I just ask you what your city is. And I have a 12 category system that would discover the stakeholders that will pay for your trip to Japan so that a pipeline of Japanese travelers can visit your location. And the 12 categories of business are one, English conversation schools. I look them up. Then we invite them into a speed meeting event to do number two. Two is the nonprofits in your location. All these businesses are marketing separately, right? Then we have local podcasts or radio stations. Then we have the local university in your town. See, we have a city model and we are creating the digital transformation of your city to implement our study abroad to your city. And um, so, okay, your businesses, they spend money to market themselves, but instead they're paying money, so they're going to market through your YouTube channel that you're creating, visiting. And if you don't want to do a YouTube channel, just, because not everybody, exactly. See, it gives a partnership for our 16 and 17 and 18-year olds in your city. We're running a campaign that's attracting travel influencers who will create their YouTube channel. So that's what these conversations are. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. You're just customizing what you want to do by telling me it to program it into my brain. And but this would be programming it eventually to replace me with a chatbot, and then replace the chatbot with eventually the people you do want to meet. And just optimizing your life from a sovereign CEO mentality, and not get held back by people in your way, like banks or universities or teachers. Or yeah, we have so much power. But that's why I've been in Japan for over 30 years, because I got so frustrated with the middlemen between us that set up businesses, but they just care about money. They just care about money. But the new economy, like this podcast we're talking about, the currency is authenticity. So, I mean, the authenticity of just, whatever I'm saying, whatever I'm doing, either you like it or you don't. Now, that's the difference between a brand and a business. When you have a business, people want the lowest price. When you're a brand, you customize the user experience, and you only expect to attract like 1% of the population. We're not looking for everybody, but who is the type of person that wants to be a tech CEO in India? And who is the person right now in India who also wants to be a YouTuber? It's not, but actually connecting these people. And what if I was to say, right? Like, I'm okay, we want India people, right, to get on our speed meeting events, because Japanese people need to meet as many different people. And we don't want lies. We want your truth, right? It's like, but people are not telling truth, right? They're telling people what they want to hear, like people pleasing. Like, but when it comes to us transforming education, then people can be real. But also, the best education is something you can do that's also a job that you're earning money from it. And that's what I did in Japan as a headhunter. I worked at a Japanese company the first year. It's like a boot camp. I was calling companies, I was meeting English speakers, I was interviewing them and introducing them to foreign companies doing business in Tokyo. And this job in Japan, you made a lot of money. But your job now also can be the way we're matching people. And that's a big industry in Japan from their culture, that they have a group culture. And they're trying to do things like, oh, maybe we have to change Japanese culture. But that's because they're trying to do everything by themselves. If you and I represent the collaboration from Western countries, and you're from India, and then we could invite Japanese people to an international situation. Then the people from India and the people from a Western country, we want to travel to Japan to experience their culture. So we just have to open it up to remote, to our online network, where we're not just surrounded by our physical surrounding, but we're united in our online remote, because a country, our online country, and the culture of that country is me as a brand. But I'm not saying to do it like ego, like I do it. No, because it's from a tech perspective, it's the same operating language. And that's the problem, is you as an individual have your own language. I as an American have my own language. What if we don't speak the same language, but our patterns of collaboration is the same language, beyond language, a programming language, but non-technical, because it's a educational sequence to create our investment. Okay, no, this is important. Okay, your stakeholders fund your trip, but your trip is creating the educational trip for other people. So as you experience each category, you're receiving a portion of money from that, but getting paid as a travel writer. So I did 3 jobs in Japan: the English teacher job, the travel writer job, the consulting job, but I put it together as a YouTuber. And don't worry about you making these interesting YouTube. It's not about that. It's about the remote view, the proof of value that people see with their own eyes, and they get a training by watching you go through something, so when they travel they know what they're going to experience. And when I first came to Japan, it wasn't like that. There was a big shock. So we're trying to cut down on the shock. Sorry, could you hear that? I don't know if it cut away.
Yeah, I got it. I got it.
Okay. So, do you have any question at all for me?
So like this speed meeting event is online, right? Whole process
Yes.
is online.
Yes. Right? So,
And
yep. Okay, okay.
and
So
that
this the speed meeting event is online, but if you got on a speed meeting event right now, you're not ready, okay? Because when before you get on a speed meeting event, we have this like conversation like this, and you're prepared, because actually what you say in the speed meeting event, like when I say your interest, your skills, your dream, it's okay that you don't say much, but we do the search of your stakeholder companies. And yeah, so usually after this conversation, I then go online, I create a report of your 12 category stakeholder companies. I show you it. Sometimes I make a YouTube video about it. Yeah, for my channel. I share it to you. Hopefully, you watch it. So I like creating personalized content to one person, that instead of me giving you something to read, you just sit back, relax, I read it for you. And in that way, I'm the AI. I see, it's not that I have a super AI, but as the human, I can do these calculations easily. That to create a robot to do these calculations, it is possible, but it's easier if the robot can copy my patterns. So if we accomplish, for example, I'm speaking with you. What is the result of this conversation is what's next, right? And then eventually, uh, I can gather 20 of you and I can gather 20 Japanese people, and this event will transform Japan. I promise you, because it's not what you do, but like the record of what you do. So that's the same thing a bank does, right? Is that the record and the blockchain, the ledger. So and what we actually can do is we can turn our ledger to synchronize with our calendar. If we have a smartphone and every day we wake up and our calendar is telling us these appointments or but we choose. You choose your best options. You're always in control because we have the information, we have the pattern. See the pattern, and but my pattern is to just like, for example, if I said, "Hi, my name is Nate," you would answer, "Hi, my name is Ansh." Exactly. It's the mirror pattern that the thing we want, we can get if we just create the pattern like the voice and we get the echo. Yeah, the response from it. So I do think eventually it's gonna be fun. Yeah. Like yeah, but not just fun, something, and I'm just saying like our brand association with the India tech entrepreneur, that if India people really get into this, we create this digital Silk Road. It's gonna be like the brand identity they want to promote. Uh, my advice to anybody in any country is you have to study abroad. You have to get out of your country, but there's a easier way to do that, and we could be so useful that way. But more important, India being so many people who, through a common culture, we could empower, inspire to get out of India, and we could make these tech centers in places that, oh man, it would be amazing.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I mean, because I will say, okay, there are some people who, okay, now I'm not saying anything bad, okay? I'm saying this because India is smart, okay? But there have been some scammers, right? Call centers. And even many India people think this is a problem. But what else are people going to do who are smart and there's no opportunity? So we have to get those people also who are very smart, who are sometimes very evil. And we're not just saying people like, look, do this so you can be a good person, right? But this is fun. This is smart. And you don't have to steal. You don't have to scam people. You could be smart and we could take this world. I want that same ambition that is trapping people, but to give people the way out. And that's the thing about this technology. Even Japan, we have a gang called the Yakuza. You hear about them, right? And as a result, Japanese people, if they think you're a bad person, they judge you like, oh, you were bad, you were bad. But when we create the city based information center, people can forget about their differences and focus on the location, and we could increase the number of efficiency of attracting people and then creating startups with them and then launching them to be successful and getting percentages of businesses that we started. So before we can do that, somebody has to join us on something That's what my speed meeting event is not how you could set everything up, but how you could join an already going thing and from that be somebody to get more people on an already going thing. And it can be so much easier than the way people are going about it. Everybody is so secretive and you got to pay money, but they hide the knowledge. But if we have the same tech platform, we share the knowledge, and it's our intelligence bank of information. And this is the bio data that really matters, not them taking our fingerprints and DNA the way they try to get us doing it without our consciousness. But it's our consciousness that is the power. That when we unite that way, nobody can overtake us. I know you know what I'm saying, because you can't
Yeah,
talk about consciousness with Western people sometimes, they don't understand it because it's all marketing. But now people are ready because they're ready to be the marketer, but not to live in the fantasy land, but in the business of creating reality. Yeah. So thank you, Ansh. Thank you so much for this conversation. I know
definitely nice.
my Zoom will end soon because I don't have the subscription account, but we could get funding
Okay.
so that we could not worry about money, but it's also we don't need money too. So um yeah. So it's a pleasure to speak to you about this for sure. And
Just a minute.
yeah,
So, yeah, am I audible?
yeah, well here.